All right, guys. Hey, welcome to Warrior Wednesdays. We're Jeff and Maggie now, the founders of Wedlock Warriors, and we're just going to go ahead and get this thing kicked off. This is week three of the focus class. If you've been following along with this teaching, the focus class is an acronym that spells out how to solve your marriage woes and get things back on track. And it all comes from this free report we put together on our website. You can go there and download it for free, and it goes through all the 5 steps, the most important steps for you to rebuild your marriage today. Start rebuilding your marriage today. So get online and figure that out and get on. But tonight we're going to focus on the C part of the focus acronym, and we're going to talk about cleaning your inner circle and what that means to you and your marriage and how that all works together. But see, we're just coming out of the holidays, which were awesome. Totally cool. Love the holidays. Love getting together and eating the turkey and all that stuff. You know, family's great. But it can be a very stressful time for people, especially when they're going through marriage troubles. And so, let's just face it, you're only here for 2 reasons. One, you want to strengthen your marriage, or an already strong marriage, you want to strengthen it. Or 2, you are here because your marriage is in trouble. And you know, it wasn't that long ago that me and Maggie, seems like we walked through fire and brimstone, right, to get to where we're at today. Absolutely. And so that's the whole idea of the focus class. Is we brought together the 5 most important steps we took to rebuild our marriage, and we wanted to share them with you. One of the biggest steps was the C part, and that's cleaning your inner circle. It's actually the one that I like the most, as far as, because it's my idea, wasn't it? Yeah. Because it's my idea, and I came up with that name. And the whole idea behind cleaning your inner circle is, it's been said, if you probably have read this or seen it out there on the internet, but it's been said that you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. And so that means take an inventory of the 5 people you are most in contact with in your life. It could be family members or friends or whatever. And you're the average of those 5 people, financially, spiritually, marriage condition, whatever. You're the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. Now, I've kind of, obviously there's people break that rule all the time, but I tell you what, it's pretty darn close when you look around at it and you start observing life in a different light. You're like, wow, that really is true. Right. And so what does that mean for you in your marriage? Now, you're going to get more detail from the report if you go and download the report and start reading it. But Maggie, you came up with a good way of kind of look at this principle a little bit closer. So I'm going to let her chat with you, and I'm going to close the door so the kids stop bugging us.
Just something that I was thinking about today. If we can just pause on the association talk just for a moment. And I want you to think about, if you were to describe your perfect marriage, like, what would it look like? And don't say, I just want to be happy. Don't say that, because happiness changes every day. I mean, one thing makes us happy, and the next day it makes us irritated. So happiness is relative. I didn't say you. Okay. But happiness is relative. So please don't say, I just want to be happy. But you can say things like, I want to be financially secure, or I want to be able to have a conversation with my spouse about building a house together. You can think of those sorts of things. So just, if you were to start to think right now, just if you had the ideal relationship with your spouse, the best relationship possible, what would it look like? And then I want you to think about the people that you talk to the most, the people that call you the most, or that you call the most. Maybe if you have a flat tire, who are you going to call? Who are you going to reach out to, because they'll be there.
Right.
These are your inner circle people. They have a key to your house. They come and watch your dog when you go on vacation. These are your people that are the closest to you.
Right.
And the question that you need to ask yourself then is, do any of these people have any of the qualities that I want in my future marriage? And the reason I say
that, or the future of your marriage.
Right. The reason I say that is because if none of them do, then you're constantly surrounded by people who don't have that as a reality. And so if you can find someone that has a really steady financial foundation, if that's something that is important to you right now, or somebody that has a fabulous relationship with their spouse, get to know those people and get close with those people. And if the people who are closest to you are the opposite of what you're looking for, then maybe give a little distance between those people and yourself. I'm not saying cut them off forever, because some of those people are our family, the people that we love and that are a part of our life. Now, we're blessed with amazing family on both sides. But I know that sometimes some of the negative information that many couples get comes from family members and people they're close
let's be honest. I mean, here's the deal, guys. A lot of time, most of your relationships you're going to have in your life are circumstantial. You know, they're either you're born into them, or you were neighbors with the guy, or you went to the same class as the person. All these things are circumstantial. What we're saying, and a lot, and we don't want you to misinterpret what we're saying, because, you could see this as, man, they just want you to just leave all of the people that you love behind. We're not saying that. What we're saying is take inventory, and you got to understand the perspective that we're coming across. We're talking through this lens right here to the person on the other end of this that's having trouble in their marriage, that they don't know if they're going to make it out of, to the end of the year or to the end of the week, being married to the spouse that they're married to right now. So we're talking from a perspective of, hey, we've got to make some changes. We've got to do it right now, and we've got to get this thing back on track, or we ain't going to make it. And so with that being said, that means decisions have to be made. And I can guarantee if we didn't weed out some of the negative people in our life, some of the negative influences in our life, and that had to do with circumstantial associations, we would not be here today. It's so important. And start actually, instead of having circumstantial relationships, start having relationships on purpose with people, intentional. I'm like I'm getting excited because you have intentional relationships, and they can come from anywhere. But obviously, we would recommend getting involved with a good church, spirit-filled, Bible teaching Christian church would be a great place to start. But the whole idea is, we've got to, when your marriage is in trouble, when you're having a hard time keeping it together at the house, all those little bitty things start stacking hard. They start stacking up quick, and they start really, really wrenching down on an already difficult situation. And so we want to make sure when we're cleaning the inner circle, we're taking inventory of all the different people in our lives who influences us. And where are we getting our advice? Where are we getting our advice? Here's the deal. When we and Maggie went through our crazy time, and you can read about it online, it's all out there. Hit us up over here on the chat. We would totally answer any questions. We're not trying to hide anything from people we're trying to help. Or if you want to use the messenger or whatever, how that works, fine. Ask us questions. But when we were going through our tough time, you wouldn't believe the amount of crazy, like everybody's a marriage expert all of a sudden. Everybody in the whole world's a marriage expert that's giving you advice, and none of them have a good marriage. Okay? Now, if you're not trained and you're not thinking, clearly, you're going to start taking this advice because these are the people that have influenced you your whole life. They could be your mom. They could be your dad. They could be your sister. They could be your brother-in-law. It doesn't really matter. But these are people close to you, and you love them. But are they worthy of giving you advice
in this area?
In this area of that needs some expertise. Mm-hmm. And so back to the illustration Maggie was talking about, if you're wanting some financial advice, get financial advice from somebody that has finances that you would want to emulate or have.
Because they can give you real suggestions.
Right. They got real results.
Right. And things that work for them because they have something that works in that area of their marriage.
And so many people get advice from just bad area. Like, for instance, the whole idea of this class is your marriage is in crisis. You don't know if you're going to make it. Our marriage was in crisis many years ago. We didn't know we were going to make it. We did make it. We're going to tell you how we did it. That's how simple it gets. The reason we can do that, in fact, Pastor had a great thing. If you get online, check out Livestream Church. Paul Shepperly had a great message tonight. He was talking about 2 Corinthians, where Paul is kind of making fun of, hey, do I need a letter of recommendation? I started this church, anyways. Where's our letter of recommendation? Well, our letter of recommendation is we're still together and we have 4 wonderful kids and we came through this disaster, and you can read all about that, but that's our letter. We are the letter of recommendation, right?
Right.
So anyways, guys, the C part of the focus class or the focus acronym is so important, so important, so important. You cannot overlook who you hang out with, and get around some good people. Get around some people that are going to uplift you and not break you down, that are going to bring good advice, sound advice to your situation that you find yourself in right now. And I guess really the most important thing about that is if you follow along and you're going through, you know, I got to fix my eye on God, right? We've got to open the lines of communication. That's the O. And then we're going to clean the inner circle. If you can find some people to help you fix your eye on God, get around a small group, get around some people from your church, those other things are going to start to work themselves out. But I don't know. I'm kind of digressing there.
No, that's absolutely true. All 5 of these components are not independent of one another. In fact, they're dependent on one another.
Yes.
You know, each one, as you strengthen it, the others start to strengthen as well. So that's what's really neat about this, is that you can't say, okay, well, I'll just focus on the F of this acronym because I think I can do that one. No, you've got to do all of them. But as you do,
they kind of happen all at once.
Yeah, as you do each one, they start to complement and help you to strengthen in the other areas too.
Right. They kind of happen all at once. Now, here's the deal. A lot of you out there are probably going to sit there and think, okay, that sounds nice, Jeff. Okay, how do I go about getting around or getting rid or whatever? How does this work? And I'm just going to tell you how we did. Okay, and you might think of a better way of doing it, whatever, it doesn't matter. We actually made a list of people that were in our lives. I mean, with a pen and paper, and wrote down, who are these people? And then we looked at, are they a good influence on our marriage or a bad influence on our marriage? And wherever they fell. And if they fell on the bad side, we stopped hanging around those people. It was that serious. And a lot of you are probably going to say, wow, that's really tough. But I mean, here's the deal, guys. It's, you know, your marriage is the biggest relationship here on earth that you're going to have in your entire life. You're going to be with your wife, or you're supposed to be with your wife or husband for the entirety of your life. That's going to be longer than your kids are around. That's going to be longer than you've been with your parents. It's going to be longer than, you know, this is a big deal. And so if you look at it through that lens, there's nothing that should be drastic when it comes to saving that relationship. There should nothing that should be like, oh, I can't believe you would go through that extreme. No, that's a big, right. It's that serious, you know. I mean, just looking at it from our small like window that we've been through. I mean, there'd be 3 kids less in this world if we didn't make it, absolutely. You know. And so you gotta, when the going is when you're in a tough situation, when you don't know if you're gonna make it to the end of the tunnel, you can't afford to not just buckle down and just get some things going in the right direction. And that's really what the focus class and the focus acronym is all about.
Right. But and even small exposures. There's a story that I shared in one of the previous classes. We have a very old house, and downstairs, you know where I'm going with this. Yeah. Downstairs, our washing machine is hooked up to, somehow it's hooked up. I don't know how the plumbing works. I'm not a plumber, but it's hooked up to the garbage disposal. So I go
this
down.
Is a perfect illustration. Yeah.
I go downstairs and I'm getting ready to unload the dryer, and my son comes down and he says, "Mom, what's all that black stuff on the floor?" And I look, and sure enough, there's like bubbling up black goo coming out of the ground. There's a hole. I don't know how to describe. It's a drain. Well, it looks like a hole. It's a drain. But it's bubbling up, and it's thick, and it's nasty, and everything it touched, it would ruin. So we're quickly, you know, I'm literally grabbing buckets and dumping it out way in the backyard and thinking, oh my gosh, what is this stuff? So we called the plumber, and he had it fixed in minutes. And I said, okay, what happened? And he goes, well, ma'am, it's grease just like last time. And I kind of paused and I went, just like last time. And I said, you did say this last time. He goes, right, because you can't put any grease down a garbage disposal or it backs up in your drains. And I started thinking about that. I started thinking, you know, I was really good at first when he said it, and I never put grease down there. And then sometimes I'd let a little slip down and I'd think, well, nothing happened. It's okay. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And then pretty soon you just get careless and you just put it down there. It's okay. And then all of a sudden it's too late. Right. You can't undo what's been done down in the pipes, and it starts bubbling up, and it starts ruining everything it touches. Right. And your association can be a lot that way. You know, well, I'm just going to hang out with my my fun friends that go to the bar occasionally. It's not a big deal though, because it's not all the time.
It's not all the time. It's all right. Yeah.
Right. But over time, you can't be uninfluenced by the people you hang around with the most. It's impossible to be uninfluenced by them.
Right.
So, you've got to be really diligent about this.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you're going to have to make some tough decisions.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to be your family members. Some of them are going to be close friends that you've had for a long time. Right. You just got to have to weigh out in your head. You're going to be like, okay, how important is our relationship? And is it worth saving it? And we think it is. That's why we're here. And that's why we're sharing with you guys out there in the internet world. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you kind of see where we're coming from. Obviously, these live classes are just kind of off the cuff a little bit. Like literally 2 minutes before we started, we're helping kids put on movies and dogs are running around and babies are, it's a big family here. And so hopefully you understand. And like I said, if you want more details, if you want to understand, more info, reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out. Get the free report, download it from the website. It'll cost you your email address. We won't spam you. All you're going to get is the updates from the blog. And, if we do anything crazy, we'll let you know. But, guys, we love you. And it's not too late. It's not too late to make a difference in your marriage. It's not too late to save your marriage. It's not too late to turn that ship around and get it going in the right direction. We're living proof. We're Jeff and Maggie now from Wedlock Warriors. Real life.
Real questions.
Real answers. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.